In early July, we headed to Michigan's western Upper Peninsula to the Porcupine Mountains. My son Bryce had missed our last expedition into this area, so we planned this trip to visit the Porkies and invited his friend Matt to accompany us. Neither of them had been here before. In this video, we will share with you what we did while exploring the area and where we camped. All of the footage and photos in this video are by me, and the music is by my daughter Aspen. Bryce and Matt have been friends since elementary school. Although Matt moved to Arizona in early high school and now lives in Texas, he and Bryce have stayed close. Matt flew to Metro Detroit and we headed north. The Porkies are about 9 hours from Metro Detroit where we live, which is even longer with stops for gas, restrooms, and food. So we decided to break the trip into 2 days and also make some stops to break up the driving.
Odyssey is goated, 64.
Another one, we're never going to get down.
Oh my God.
Our first stop was Mackinaw City to eat and buy some fudge. Mackinaw is known for its fudge, which is made the old-fashioned way, using marble tables to cool and cut the fudge. After getting our fudge fix, we headed across the bridge to the UP. The bridge is 5 miles from shore to shore. It connects Michigan's upper and lower peninsulas. Before the bridge was built in 1957, ferries were used to take trains and automobiles across the straits. Now, in about 5 minutes, we can easily drive across the bridge and enter the UP. The first night in the UP, we camped in Munising. That evening, we stopped at Wagner Falls and then drove to Sand Point in the Pictured Rocks National Lakeshore to watch the sunset. Sand Point is just east of Munising and is a very popular swimming spot. The shallow water of the bay off Sand Point is much warmer than most other Lake Superior beaches. The shallow waters of the point also allow swimmers to go pretty far offshore without getting too deep. Leashed pets are permitted on the beach and in the water. Although we left our pup Banjo at home this trip, I watched another family's dog enjoy the beach. I also watched Bryce and Matt wander down to the point while I photographed the twilight fading into darkness. The next morning, we got breakfast in Munising and completed our 3-hour drive to the Porcupine Mountains Wilderness State Park. We set up camp at Union River Big Bear Campground, which is right outside the park on the shore of Lake Superior. This was our first time staying here. During our last visit to the Porkies, we stayed at the park's Union Bay Modern Campground. In the video of that previous trip, we included information about all the campgrounds in the state park. I will include a link to that video at the end of this video. I will also include more information and footage of Union River Big Bear Campground at the end of this video. So after setting up our camp, we decided to head to Konteka Black Bear Ranch's restaurant in White Pine for an early dinner. I'd read that they fed the bears there, so diners can often watch the big well-fed bears through the large windows as the bears come out of the surrounding woods to eat while you watch from inside the restaurant while eating your own food. We were lucky to see this young bear while eating our dinner. The food was pretty good, but the real draw to this restaurant is the bear watching. After dinner, we headed up to the Lake of the Clouds overlook. This is only about 15-minute drive from the Union River Big Bear Campground, so we went up here several times during our visit to catch sunrises and appreciate the vista. When standing on the long basalt and conglomerate escarpment about 340 feet above the Lake of the Clouds, you get a taste for what Michigan must have looked like thousands of years ago. From here, you look out over the park's 60,000 acres of virgin forests, rushing streams, clear lakes, and frothy waterfalls, seeing little evidence of man. Here is some footage and photos from the Lake of the Clouds overlook, followed by a Lake Superior sunset from the beach at Union River Big Bear Campground.
I'm scared of what the morning brings. I'm scared of what it means to me. wanna find hope, but it's distant. Sunrise. Oh, tell me how you can wake up the world. Sunrise. Oh, tell me how you have the strength to rise. Help me believe in miracles, 'cause I need one. Sunrise, daylight, ooh, wake me, revive, breathe life, ooh. Help me believe in miracles, 'cause I need one. Help me believe in miracles, 'cause you are one.
The next day, we drove about 45 minutes along South Boundary Road to the west end of the park to hike the Presque Isle River and Waterfalls loop. This 2.3-mile loop follows the east and west shores of the Presque Isle River. The trail crosses the river on the south end of the loop by the South Boundary Road's bridge and crosses the north end of the loop by a suspension bridge by the river mouth. We hiked the west shore first, which is a relatively easy walk using boardwalks that carry you above the rugged shoreline, but there are a lot of stairs to climb. The east shore, in contrast, has no boardwalks and is a more natural trail.
Part, it's still water, so just swim with the waterfall, right? How hard can that be?
We were also periodically showered by some light rain while we hiked. We'd left our rain gear in the car, but were mostly sheltered by the tall, thick virgin pines. Here are some video and photos of our hike for you to enjoy.
Butterfly whose expectations were too high, wings stripped over the drooping in the hands of sky. Now I lay here on your doorstep, safe but already destroyed. We don't listen to each other, eyes glisten like lovers in the morning. And I know your delicate heart puts out a very big spark and again those arguments. We learn to trust in one another, learn to learn from each other's mistakes and consequences. We still don't listen to each other, eyes glisten like lovers in the morning. Take and accept no more regrets. When we wasted our time always looking for what's coming next. So take said no, no more regrets. We still don't listen to each other, eyes glisten like lovers. We are lovers. Delicate butterfly whose expectations were too high, wings stripped of the ruin.
I thought it was a boardwalk. It turned out it was a bank. I kind of freaked out when I felt the bridge give a little under me.
In the 1800s, the Porcupine Mountains and nearby Upper Peninsula were the site of the USA's first mineral rush. Copper and other minerals are usually buried deep in the earth, but in this Lake Superior region, the copper deposits and other rocks were forced upward by tectonic activity millions of years ago, and then the earth was scrubbed clean by the glaciers that formed the Great Lakes 14,000 years ago, exposing deposits of copper close to the surface. Commercial exploration and production of minerals in this area dates back to the mid-1800s, but Native Americans mined copper here in surface pits dating back thousands of years. Because of its copper mining history, the state park is a cooperating unit of the Keweenaw National Historic Park. To get a better understanding of the area's copper mining history, we drove about 40 minutes east to Adventure Mine Tours in Greenland, Michigan. Here you can experience a copper mine as the miners would have 160 years ago with just a single light on a hard hat. Operated from 1850 to 1920, the mine produced more than 11 million pounds of copper. Only the first and second levels of the mine are currently accessible. The lower levels flooded with groundwater naturally when the mine closed and the pumps were turned off. We took an hour-and-a-half tour of the first level of the mine. The tunnels are rough walking, but it's a really cool experience. They even have guests turn off their lights at one point in the tour to experience total darkness. But you won't see or hear that part of the tour on this video because I had to turn the camera off so we could experience the total darkness. You'll have to take the tour yourself for that experience. When reviewing possible day hikes in the Porkies, I had come across the Nonesuch Trail. Some call this the creepiest hike in Michigan because it ends at the ruins of the Nonesuch mine and ghost town. I didn't find it creepy, but I did find it interesting. The hike is a 1.2 mile out and back trail that ends at the ruins and the Nonesuch Falls on the Iron River. Nonesuch got its name from the unusual copper that was found there. It was said none such ore had been found anywhere else in the UP. The mine opened in 1867 and operated for about 7 years. Although the site wasn't a very profitable mine, the nearby White Pine mine, located on the same copper-bearing Nonesuch lode, is Michigan's most productive copper mine. There they extracted more than 4 billion pounds of copper in more than 40 years of operation. Staying in the mining theme, we also hiked the Union Mine Trail. The hike is a 1.1 mile out and back trail along the cascades and waterfalls of the Union River. There are interpretive signs along this trail, and although the mine ruins are not as impressive as the Nonesuch, the Union River hike is much more scenic. The last hike we did of our trip was along the Escarpment Trail above the Lake of the Clouds. Here are some video and photos from these 3 hikes.
One, two, three, four. You're the hero of my nightmares, a villain in my dreams. I don't know what to think when you're around me. I bend over backwards just to get hurt again. But once I give up, you give in again. So I say thank you for the mixed feelings I feel around you. Thank you for the mixed reasons for how I love you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You can read anybody if you look into their eyes, but there could be a mystery in their cloudy like the London sky. A little wish, a shooting star to look into your mind. But if I could, would I still want you like when I was blind? So I say thank you for the mixed feelings I feel around you. Thank you for the mixed reasons for how I love you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you.
We had a great time visiting the Porcupine Mountains Wilderness State Park, and we're happy with our camping experience using Union River Big Bear as our base camp. They have about 50 sites with 20 and 30 amp power at each site. Some sites also have water. There's no sites with sewer hookups, but there is a dump station. We stayed here instead of the park's Union Bay campground because I needed Wi-Fi for work. Big Bear has Wi-Fi throughout the campground, which worked pretty good, but performance seemed to vary throughout the day and our stay. They have one of the cleanest restrooms and showers that I've seen at a campground. Pets are welcome, and the sites are pretty spread out and private. This is a very quiet, relaxing campground. They even have chairs, swings, and a fire ring by the front entrance. This is a great place to watch the sunset. We'd be happy to stay here again. Thanks for watching our video. If you found it interesting, please subscribe to our channel. Keep wandering and stay curious, friends.